Hey fellow ServiceNow devotees, get ready to embark on a journey through the fascinating realm of ServiceNow with none other than the service docs themselves. I'm James Downs.
And I'm Rush here. Whether you're new to ServiceNow, pre-Aspen veteran, or just a curious soul, we're here to bring you ServiceNow curiosities, exhilarating interviews, and don't forget the infamous A to Z game.
But mostly, it's about the random ramblings of two middle-aged guys with a funny story to tell, right?
Yeah, true. The ducks are ready, the mics are on, and we can't wait to have you join us. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Service Docs podcast. Today you're joined by me and James, as normal. Haven't done that for a while. So we've literally just connected onto this call and just hit record. So what will be, but the intention is we've had a busy week this week. So we can run down through the usual, what have you been up to, malarkey. But this episode is going to be a bit of a debrief from the World Forum, or ServiceNow World Forum, that's just happened in London this week. So we're going to talk about key takeaways, what we learned, what we didn't learn, who we met, who we didn't meet, all those kind of good things. But before we continue, let's just stop, pause, have a bit of a relax, because we just literally hit record and I started talking.
I know. Well, I didn't even say hi to each other. It's like, right, let's go.
No, we haven't even said hello. How are you anyway? You're all right?
I'm good. Do you know what? In the last few days, as you know, at World Forum, you could barely hear me from my croaky voice. You can kind of still hear it right now, but I feel so much better. I think it was just bugs. You know, that few weeks after school starts where the kids just bring back all the nasty germs. And it's been a constant cycle again of just, coughs and colds and, it's been...
You masked it well, though, on when I saw you the other day. So, that's exciting. I should call this out, right? So we speak quite a lot, right, virtually on Teams, and we very, very rarely meet face-to-face. People already think we meet up all the time. I don't know if you're not. If people are not based in the UK, you might think, UK is only small, we can just drive across. But we rarely see face-to-face. So it was good to catch up with you face-to-face and actually realise how short you are. I didn't realise how short you were. I forgot.
I never knew your height.
I'm only kidding. No, that was good. That was exciting. But yeah, you masked your croaky voice quite well on Wednesday.
I really struggled, man. Honestly, it's so tough because when you don't, when you have these sort of things or a cold or whatever, you never feel yourself, do you? And especially when you're there to be on a booth, you're there to have conversations. So it was quite hard. So anyone I met, during the day at World Forum, and we had a chat, and if it was awkward in any way, or you know how it is sometimes, it's like you see someone that, it's you from from this company, or your ex-colleague, and it's like, you want to be yourself and chirpy and whatever else, but all I'm thinking of is like, you can't hear me and I sound like a right idiot.
Let's get on to that in a second. I just want to talk to you about that. People need a running update. I want to know what's going on with your running. Your screen's really pixelated, by the way. Have you got bad internet? What's going on?
No, mine's fine. I don't know what's going on.
No, I don't need to see your page.
Sure, it's fine.
I'll just bring up a picture on LinkedIn and look at that instead. Let's look at you. But how's your running been?
Running, non-existent, absolutely non-existent, and it's really it's a poor excuse. But I think both with illness and I think when work just becomes way too busy. Things like being able to spend time for yourself is out the window because all you want to do after a long day, obviously it starts with the kids and drop off, whatever else, school run, and then obviously a busy day of work, and then it's back to kids. So you're looking at 7 or 8 o'clock, and all you want to do is sit down on the sofa and just watch whatever for half an hour. Doesn't even matter what it is. You just that half an hour for yourself and just sit like that and just mong out. But
I go the other way, right? And I was actually talking to a good friend of ours on Wednesday about this. So I did the Kew Gardens / Richmond 10K in September. It's my favourite race of the year. I talked about it last time as well because I was annoyed I couldn't get back in.
Yeah.
But I did that race, and I said to you, I remember before the race, I said I'm going to run a 48:30. That was a
Mm.
PB for me, and I actually ran a 48:31, right? So pretty much bang on the time I wanted to hit.
Yeah.
And it really hurt. But the last 3 kilometers, I just wanted to curl up in a ball and forget anything existed. But I still finished and went, ugh, I'm not overly happy with that. Why? Why is that? Why wasn't I happy with what I said I was going to do? 'Cause I'm always
Yeah,
thinking,
you aim for it, but I don't
I
know.
think it's because I expected myself to be in better shape than I was. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the point I'm getting to, so I was quite ill for a week after that. Yeah, when you push yourself that hard, that's if anyone's listening to this, you could probably run quicker than that. I'm not quick, but it's quick for me. It's all relative, and I think that's okay. But when you push your body to that limit, your immune system gets compromised, right? So for the next week, I was ill. Then, of course, you have a week off not doing anything, and you get into this routine of, oh, I can't be bothered. What's the
Yeah.
point? Why bother?
Yeah.
So I've had like 2 weeks of mentally just thinking, oh, I can't be bothered. Why should I bother? What's the point? I'm getting old. I'm never going to be as quick as I want to be. I'm just feeling generally miserable, right? And on the Friday, I started to feel better, and I thought, I'm going to go out for a run. I need to go. I had this compelling need to go and get out for a run
Mm.
because, as much as I didn't want to, because I couldn't be bothered,
Yeah.
I knew I needed to go and say, I can do that 10K. Bear in mind, I've done a marathon this year, right? So I know I've got 10K in my locker all day long. But it was still daunting to me, right? That distance was still daunting. And I put it off for days going, oh, I don't think I can finish 10K.
Yeah.
And I did it. And I arrived back in the gym and I said to this guy there, and I was like, I just mentally needed that boost. I felt so much better, so much happier. And it got me thinking, and again, I was talking to a good friend on Wednesday about this, and it got me thinking that I wish more people, and it sounds bizarre I'm saying this, but I wish more people would have things like that in their life that they just, when they need a mental boost, you can just go and do it and it just really sorts you out.
Yeah.
Because for
Yeah.
me, the option of, at the end of the day, if I'm feeling like that, the option of, oh, I'm just going to sit and watch telly,
Yeah.
that's what my body wants to do, but it doesn't
Yeah.
help me out mentally. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I know it's the easy answer.
Yeah.
But I know for me, it's not the right thing to do.
And
And
does it ultimately just come down to, I'm not even sure it's a fitness thing, you know. I think it may be just more down to you're spending time for yourself. Does that make sense? It's
yes,
doing something that you know. I mean,
yeah,
you're not even necessarily enjoying it throughout, but it's like it's time, isn't it? That's what it is.
you're
It's
right.
time away from the norm, and it's just away in just your own little bubble and doing something.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of this, and I'm getting, as I get older, I'm getting more and more wise to it, I think. Because I went to the gym while I was feeling miserable. I went to the gym. I thought, I've got to get out of the house. I've got to go to the gym. Right?
Yeah,
I did one exercise, literally one. Spoke to a guy I know that had a chat for half an hour. I really can't bother him going on. But it was the mental release of getting out and doing something
yeah,
different.
yeah,
And I've always known I need exercise to get myself back in the mental space. But it did make me think the other day. I thought, how powerful was that run for me?
Hmm.
And I thought, I wish people understood that more. And is there anything I can do to encourage it a bit more? Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? To help people realize it. So watch this space. So I've got some
Hmm.
ideas that I want to do. Um,
You could
I
become a
was
personal
thinking about
coach.
setting up perhaps a local running club, and if
Yeah,
fat, overweight dads want to come along, then great. And if there's only 3 of us that get around and have a chat,
yeah.
that
I
chat
think that's
might
what it is, isn't it?
pull someone out of a misery. You know what I mean?
A lot of people, when they think of like doing things outside of their family and work life, it'll be like going for a pint with the lads or going to play something like snooker or
Hmm.
pool or something. It's like the way I can like kind of merge this with running is you don't have to be good at it. It's just
No,
about getting out.
well, it's all
It's like it doesn't
relative,
matter
isn't
if
it?
you're crap. It's like I've always been crap at snooker. I play with my mates like once a month or something like that. It's like it's not. We don't do it to master the art of snooker. We're not there to be Ronnie O'Sullivan or anything. We're just there
Yeah,
because otherwise, one, we probably wouldn't see each other as friends in person. Going back to your point about seeing each other in person, you have to make these excuses, or you have to plan and get these things in the diary. Otherwise, they're just not going to happen.
This is
But
it.
it's just getting out, and just doing something different that's not what you're doing 90% of the day.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. And I'm going to do something in that space. I
Yeah.
don't know what, but I don't know.
So I guess if there's any of you
Maybe
kind
a
of listening,
ServiceNow
watching,
sponsored run.
oh yeah, we thought about that, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Something will come up.
It's like you don't for anyone listening, watching, thinking, "Oh, I couldn't be a runner like you guys. I can't." Everyone says that, don't they? It's like I can't even think about doing a 5K. It just makes my legs hurt thinking about it. It's like no, you start off small. It's okay to just go out for a jog walk. Most of my long runs end up being that.
This is the thing, right? I'm used to running half marathons on a weekend, not a half marathon race, but I'm used to running 21K
Training.
and it just being fine. 2 weeks off of feeling miserable, that 10K really, I was anxious about it. I was really anxious about 10K, and that, I don't want people to listen to this and think, well, bloody hell, I can't run that. What's the on about?
Yeah.
But it's all relative, right? It's all relative.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough running full of me being in the misery. Oh, everything's all right.
Deep.
Let's talk about the subject in hand. So,
Yeah.
this week we had 2 events. We had the ServiceNow meetup, which was on the Tuesday night, which you didn't turn up to, did you, you loser?
I didn't have to. I'm only allowed 1 day a week out. Come on.
You're only allowed 1 day away from let me give you a brief of that. So,
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
So they did the London meetup. So there's always one really before World Forum. It allows people the opportunity that aren't necessarily based in London that come to London for World Forum and are there the night before, the opportunity to come along, see what it's all about, get involved, perhaps get some ideas, and perhaps even if they come from afar, maybe go away thinking, oh, maybe I should set one up in Newcastle or whatever. I don't know. So we had it at the London Docklands. Absolutely brilliant venue, really good venue. It was just very characteristic stuff to talk about. Just better than like a big, massive room where you all congregate and there's like massive empty spaces. Lots of faces that I've seen before, a lot of new faces actually. We had good 60-70% people that are new that hadn't been before, which was great.
That's very good.
We had Lauren, I'll tell you something in a second. Lauren, Earl. Earl is surprisingly tall.
Yeah.
In fact, the first word I said to him, I said, "You're surprisingly tall. I thought you'd be short." We had Mark Obi, Jason McKee, Selena, Sarah. So they're from the community and the marketing team that do everything around the community, the Rising Stars and the MVPs. And we had our typical games as well, which always cause some fun. But we had, Lauren and Earl did a bit of a stint on Xanadu and kind of their key picks from that. As you can imagine, they're so good at presenting.
Did they make it? Obviously, on their YouTube channel and different things that they've done, it's fairly obviously it's done in a certain way that it's formal but less formal. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is
there was a slide or two that Earl wasn't expected, but you style it out, and I like that because it makes it more real, right? Rather than some polished presentation. And I hope they're not listening to this because they'll think it was supposed to be polished. But rather than it being polished, it's more real, it's more raw. And let's not forget they're dev advocates, right? So they're advocating for us, and that we aspire to be that way. But the presentation skills,
like going to the meetup and things like that, it's not meant to be this kind of formal. You're under pressure to present well, whatever. It's like everyone's equal and
everyone's
formal.
What you got to remember at a meetup, everyone's on the same page. Everyone there is your friend. No one's looking at you thinking, "Oh, I hope you fail." Everyone wants everyone to succeed. Doesn't matter what party you're from, and that's why I love them. But presentation skills on point. Initially, although it changed before we started, I had the job to introduce Lauren and Earl. That somehow got taken away from me. I don't know where that came along, but someone else said, "Oh, you're not able." Fair enough.
All right.
I did jokingly say to Lauren and said, "I'm not saying your surname."
No, actually got away with them there, didn't you? Nice.
I said, I'm sorry, Lauren, but I can't say it. She goes, you're not the only one. I'm like, I probably
Just say
can
Lauren.
if I concentrated enough.
Yeah.
But I kind of hid behind the fact, well, you don't need surnames. You just go by single name, don't you? Earl, Lauren. Boom.
That's it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did the Xanadu, which was well received. Then we had Sarah and Selena talk a bit about the community and what that means, and it was a bit of a call for content for knowledge as well. That if you put forward a presentation idea and you get the opportunity to present there, there's multiple benefits to doing it for your career and yourself, and sometimes it's good to come out your comfort zone and do things that necessarily you wouldn't do. But yes, they were talking a lot about that as well. Then we had our quiz and games, and then Earl did a game at the end, which this was a good one, right? So Earl did a game on GenAI, and it was essentially, can you beat GenAI? And
Oh, okay.
it was a format that I'd love to do more of at the meetup, where the room was split in half. So we had those that were comfortable at scripting versus those that weren't. I have to be honest, I did walk down the scripting line, and there were a few people that had gone over to the non-scripting side. And I said, why are you over here? They're like, well, I've done that all day. I just want to relax today. I was like, fair enough. And they had whiteboards, and there were different scenarios on the screen. It was all about catalog item build. So one scenario was for the scripters. So here's the scenario. Can you write the regex that would do this, right? And I kid you not, you actually have people on their whiteboards in their teams of 5. Sorry, we're splitting into teams of 5, writing down regex. It was actually, I'm going to use the word cute. It was quite cute to watch people write down regex. I was like, oh, look at you.
I'd have to definitely do a Google.
I was walking around to see how they're doing, and they're like, is that right? I was like, I have no idea. I was like, how many times do you write regex freehand?
I know, you don't.
People weren't using their phones. I was like, I know what I'd be doing. All right,
I know, I'd be on Regex 101.
Yeah. And then the other team was like, write the story that covers these acceptance criteria.
Okay.
And then it was, okay, you've done this in your teams. Now let's see what GenAI would have done. Okay, and compare it and see, have we done something better? Have they come up with it? Is GenAI better solution? Let's face it, the whole point is to show the power of GenAI, and not necessarily that it's 100% right all the time.
Yeah.
But it'll steer you in the right direction, probably quicker than you can go in a team of 5.
Yeah.
So that was just a good bit of fun. Loads of swag knocking about as well. The guys from, I should mention actually, the guys from Quality Clouds, so they sponsored it. They were there, had a little, I don't want to say stand, it's just one of those banner things that are up.
Yeah.
So they were in there, brought some swag along. I had a really good chat with them actually around the product, what they're doing in that space. And then, we had the usual drinks and whatnot while you're at the venue. After that, then it was nice. We went out for a drink afterwards. A few of us, not everyone, couldn't take 100 people to the pub. But a few of us just like stragglers, went out for a few drinks. A couple of people, actually, that I hadn't seen for a long time. So that was good. So that was the meetup, to give you a bit of a rundown. But yeah, all good all round, I think, for the meetup.
Very good. And I guess my question is, how did you feel in the morning?
Why are you asking me this, James? Right. So I stayed in the hotel literally right next to the venue for the meetup.
Yeah.
And I'd stayed in it last year as well, so I knew what I was letting myself in for. Perfectly clean. I always think if it's got a bed in it, it's all right. But it was literally, they had pull-down shelves. That's how small the room was. And it was just, there's no windows. So it's quite claustrophobic, quite stuffy. And I woke up at 6 o'clock and just thought, I've got to get out of here. So I literally left. And I need coffee to function. So I left and headed over to the XL for the World Forum in the morning. I must have been there 7 o'clock. because
Yeah.
I just needed coffee and some fresh air. I struggled. I struggled. I struggled 'cause I was so tired, and I knew what was coming because the World Forum. If you've never been to World Forum, there's a massive expo floor where all the
Yeah.
partners and vendors are to talk to customers. And then there's different breakout sessions. You can go and listen to different talks on GenAI or ITSM implementations or whatever floats your boat. And I knew there was a lot of talking coming up, a
Yeah.
lot of networking coming up. And don't get me wrong, that's why I go. Well, we'll come on to that in a second. But I go mainly for the networking side as opposed to the breakout sessions. And I don't know, people might think differently when I say this, but I'm an introvert, right? Yeah, I really have to push to have open conversations. I really I
You
have to make a conscious effort. It's not something that comes
do
naturally.
not come across as an introvert, and I think
No,
anyone that I know knows you would never say you're an introvert. So
well,
you do a good job.
100%. Yeah, 100% am. But it takes a lot of energy out of me. It takes a lot of
Yeah.
social battery, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I
Um,
know.
so I had to kind of warm myself up before I went in. Coffee, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what's
Yeah.
coming. And I say this without saying I knew what I was doing. Right? I didn't go. Oh, I've got to go.
Yeah.
I just so anyone's aware, I took the day off to go to World Forum. Right, so it was
Mm.
my choice. It wasn't being made to go. I chose to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I kind of hung around, got my coffees, got jazzed up a little bit, and off we went. But yeah, how did your morning fare? How was your travel in? When did you get there?
My morning started at 4 a.m. So
Wow, that was earlier than me.
yeah, it's a bit of a mission because I think the sign in was from about 7. I think it was open from like 7.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a bit of setup that needs to happen in the morning. So my obviously my background's obviously a little bit different. So I'm coming at this working for a partner. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm not going to mention the partner name because I have to put a pound in the jar. That old one. So I come into it and you have to set up your booth. You got like a little area depending on your level of sponsorship. You might have a bigger booth compared to everyone else. But we had a gold level sponsorship, which means we've got this little area where a few of us can, stand around and chat to colleagues and clients and get leads and things like that. That's the whole idea. So I got there nice and early so we can, prep for it, set up our screen, set up our bits and pieces around the desk, get a little scanner thing, so you have to make sure that's all working. So there's a little bit of kind of preamble to before everyone kind of storms in and starts to chat to you. So yeah, I set off at like 4 a.m. I think I got to the Excel Center the wrong way. I took the tube going the wrong direction, which was quite special of me, considering I used to
Nice.
live in London. So yeah, that was brilliant. Plus the Elizabeth line. I've never been on the Elizabeth line before. I didn't even realise that went down right close to the Excel Center.
Oh yeah, that's one I got. Yeah.
Yeah, I went all the way to Bank, and I was like, "What am I doing?" So anyway, I got there probably about 7:30, I think it was. Yeah, about 7:30, between 7:30 and quarter to 8. Met up with the team. I think most of the team probably chose the same option as you. Let's go straight to Costa to get a coffee. And yeah, the day really started from there. Really, I seen you come past not too long after that. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I saw you quite early on.
Yeah, it was early in the
Quite
day, wasn't it?
quite surprising through the day, given the fact there was a few thousand there, how many people I
Yeah.
saw that I know.
Yes. Yeah.
Just by chance.
Yeah. And I think obviously we all speak about this kind of small world, don't we? It's a really small world. There's so many partners. There's so many ServiceNow partners, and you see the amount of stands and things. But yeah, you can't go 10 meters without bumping into someone that you know.
Yeah, this is it. So let's just talk about the expo floor for a second,
Yeah.
right? So this year I found the expo floor a bit bland. And I don't mean that in disrespect to any of the partners, but I'm sure when I've been before, like the stands are different, they're shaped different.
Yeah.
They've got more things on them.
Yeah. So
And
there was a reason behind that. I think there
yeah,
was
go on.
it was stopped by ServiceNow, I think I don't know whether this is a trial for this year or it came into play like at a different World Forum or event, but we wasn't allowed to give out any like leaflets.
No.
We wasn't supposed to have anything on the stands. There's no like extra bits and pieces, no swag. So that's probably why it felt a little bit different, I guess.
It must have been, because I knew before, and I think in knowledge as well, it was swagless, and
yeah,
it just felt, yeah, I suppose you're right. There wasn't stuff. Because you're used to seeing stuff,
but
and
did you see
whether that's people walking around.
out, though? I kept my BDI open, and there was definitely things sneaking out. I've seen a few lollipops and like things coming out at the end of the day.
I did see that. There was a chocolate machine as well. I did see that.
Oh, that was good.
But yeah, it did. Perhaps because there wasn't people walking around with bags and things, it felt a bit.
Yeah.
Bleh, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mooched around. I saw when I spoke to quite a fair few partners, I went and chased down people that I'd spoke to online and not. I sound like a stalker, and not face to face, and tracked them. Had a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
I think on the expo floor, I didn't do the. There was a queue for the chocolate selfie. I didn't queue for.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my thumb gone up. There we go. There was also always queues for the GenAI photo generator.
Oh, the photo generator, yeah.
Yeah, I went there, milled around, and one of the ServiceNow guys explained to me what it was. I said, yeah, I know what it is. I just don't want a queue. Yeah. I'm not up for queuing.
Did you there was some the Aston Martin Formula One rig?
You saw there was a queue there as well. Did you? You did.
I didn't. At the end of the day, I nearly went on it, but I think because I've got a similar thing. I don't. I do a lot of that sort of stuff at home. You know, I can.
Yeah.
I've got.
Whatever
else. So.
I saw people on it. It was the Aston Martin Formula One simulator. No, I didn't have a go. I did see it, and honestly, I was that tired and just trying to hang on for the day.
Fall asleep in the car.
I went through it. I did go. What I was quite interested by, so over by the MVP area, so there was a number of colleagues and people we know presenting. Atul did one, Suresh did one, I know Dhruv and Ash did one. Phil Swan was there presenting as well. And they had Al and Lauren were manning the booth there. And it was quite interesting. I saw they had the coffee machine and the beer machine out.
Oh, yeah. I didn't try it.
I was a bit disappointed, as in disappointed in the British public, that I didn't see many people queuing up for the beer. I didn't see, I didn't either. Obviously, I was quite tired. I didn't see many people poking around there.
Was there anything special by it? So I didn't even go. I went past it, but I didn't really look into what
I don't know, because again. Probably I should be disappointed in myself. Probably everyone was the same as me. I just thought, no, we'll pass. I did the photo booth thing with Lauren. Did you do that?
No, I didn't. No.
Why didn't you get on that? There was the main draw was there was no queue
for the photo booth.
It wasn't really a photo booth. It was just. They kind of angled it so it looked like a booth. But no, it was just literally a screen with a camera in front of it.
Oh no! I thought that was the same as the GenAI one.
No. It was over the MVP section, and there was not a queue there. So I just hopped in that, and Lauren still said, "I get on there." And you're supposed to. It takes 4 photos in quick succession, and you're supposed to strike poses. Well, no. I say you're supposed to strike poses. You don't have to. It's just when you've got someone as excitable as Lauren next to you going, "Oh, do this and do that." I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And they all came out really bad.
I tell you what, I really like though. So just behind where I think you already mentioned it, like just behind where Lauren was a stand where Atul, our good friend Atul, shout out Atul, and all the other like speakers, Phil Swan, etc. I quite like that experience. I don't go to many of these things at all. Actually, it's only my second one I've been to. The other one you were there as well. And the first one that I've kind of been to where you're listening to people. You've got one of these headsets. For those who haven't gone, wasn't lucky enough to get a ticket. You go to these little areas, and there's a microphone with a person kind of presenting on a screen, and you can go and there's lots of seats there available, and you've got these little headsets, which is fantastic. You just chuck your headset on. Obviously, it's really busy and really, really loud around you, so you can just kind of zoom in just to this thing. And I was wondering, can people actually pay attention during these things? And actually, yeah, you can. You can, really, listen to the guy. I think actually that thinking about it from a presentation point of view, that actually probably takes off a lot of pressure in a way. I think in my mind, if people just listening in on their headsets, you're less likely to get this kind of interaction and questions and stressful situations. And I think all the presenters handled it so well, and I think it was. Do
you know what? See, I have a slightly different view. So I like, so at the back, you're right. At the back of the MVP section, there was the little area where the guys were presenting. But along the back of the expo, there were 3 other sessions.
It was bigger section. Yeah.
So what James is talking about is let's say 20 people could listen to. The 3 at the back, again, weren't specific rooms. They were in the expo, but it was almost like a silent disco. You put on the earphones and listen, and you could see easily 100 in each one of those. Really loud. I like that. In fact, I will get onto it in a second. The only sessions I went to were those ones because I was already in the expo. They also had seats that you could sit down by there as well, which was a main draw. But I was already in the expo. It was easy to see without having to look at my phone because the Wi-Fi was awful. I lost phone battery throughout the day, so I couldn't see what my agenda was.
Oh, right. Okay.
But on those 3 at the back, you could see almost like the menu of what was happening at different times. So I'd go, right, I'll come back for that one. And I went and saw Justin Loftus and the UP3 gang do.
I also seen that one. I enjoyed that one.
Did you?
Yeah, I went to that one. Yeah.
Oh, you must have been in the crowd, or if they did another stint. But yeah, I went there and showed support. Again, it was something I worked on as well, so it was it was nice to see what they've been doing with it. But yeah, I like the silently disco type effect. But the one thing I had is I was quite comfortable putting on that, but also kind of just looking around and seeing what was going on whilst I was listening. And what I was conscious of is when the guys were presenting, I was thinking, oh God, they think I'm not paying attention, but I am. I'm just listening. I don't need to see the screen to hear what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So if anyone's listening to this and thought, oh God, they didn't listen, we were. It's just the same as when I'm on Teams call. I quite often go and
cards.
with my deck of cards. I haven't got any. I don't know. I haven't any for ages.
I really enjoyed that, and big up to the UP3 team for sure. I've really enjoyed that session.
It's
pretty cool.
Interesting topic. Operational technology.
Yeah.
So what other sessions did you go and see? Did you go and pop in any or?
I popped into a few. I think Justin's one was probably the best one I went to. I think there was a couple of others. There was a few like kind of fireside chat ones. Talking through, I think it was a Crossviews, digital transformation. That was a bit different because that's more like interviewee style. Sort of thing. You're not really looking at the screen at slides or anything. It was definitely just let's have a chat and see where it goes sort of thing. I quite like that. I think we would suit that if we were to do a World Forum Service Duck session. Just a very informal chat.
I've done a virtual fireside chat, if there is such a thing, but I think they tend to do one, it's a good format, but 2, it's easy to prepare for. Because if I said to you, I said to you, James, I did actually do a presentation on AI ops, right? You have to prepare quite a lot. Yeah. But if I said, I'm just going to ask you some questions, it's a bit easier, isn't it? You get prompted rather than thinking.
And there's 4 of you there, so that you can rely on each other to keep the conversation going. So I quite like that. That was pretty cool.
My answer would be, I don't know, what do you think?
Reserve judgment. What do you
interest? So let's talk.
The biggest thing with those, just before you move on, sorry, I think the biggest point of those sessions as well, for anyone coming into it as a customer, for example, of ServiceNow, or even as partners, is you want to hear from the customers.
Listening.
You're listening? Are you sure?
I was listening, just checking that someone
Yeah.
beeped outside, and I'm
All right.
expecting someone to pick up a parcel.
No, okay.
Not a penguin, a parcel.
Pick up a
Are
parcel.
they there? No, we're right. Carry on.
Yeah. So I
Carry
guess
on.
my point is, with those sessions, what the World Forum's really good at is you want to hear from the customers and their experiences. You want to learn from other people's, challenges, and sometimes they'll bring up the fact that, oh, we tried this and it didn't work. It's not always
Mhm.
like a rosy picture of like, oh yeah, we did it and we got so much value, and it's like you hear the journey.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like going to those sessions as well. Sorry, you want to move
Yeah.
on?
No, I get it. I get it. I think. Yeah. I mean, I've been to enough of these events that I know what to expect when you go to the sessions.
Yeah.
And I looked at what I did this year is I looked at topics that are relevant to what I'm doing in the current project, right? I thought, is there any stuff I can go and track down and learn and understand more?
Yeah.
And there wasn't really anything that was relevant, or at least I couldn't tie it together quick enough.
Yeah.
So
Was
I
there a
chose
problem with
not
the
to.
World Forum in that it was too AI heavy? Obviously, it's everything right now, but you would struggle to come across anything at World Forum that wasn't AI related.
I so I'm going to say yes.
Hmm.
I'm going to say that I hope people that are there, and they absolutely are, but I hope people are clever enough to understand that AI is not the silver bullet that's going to fix everything. It's not just let's switch it on and ta-da, everything's just
Yeah.
happy. And I think it's a sign of the times and the industry that AI is a massive, massive topic. That's no two ways about it. And companies are investing heavily in it. But I think we need to be mindful of not to forget the other stuff that comes along.
Yeah. That's what
You
I
see what I
mean.
mean? It's not
Yeah. I
focus
think
too much on it.
if I was putting my feet into customers' shoes, walking through the expo area, you're looking at, and I made this point to the other DXC folk, pounding the jar. To the other partners as well. You look at all the different stands, and they're all they're similar messages, aren't they? And it's like, value of AI, value of AI, AI, AI,
Yeah.
AI, AI. So it becomes more a question of which partners do you trust, which partners do you have the relationship with, and those are the ones I'm going to concentrate my conversations with. Whereas maybe before, maybe because it's maybe a bit more varied in terms of your approach, what you coming to World Forum with, what's your message?
Yeah.
Someone could be like Justin and UP3 to do with operational technology. It could
Yeah.
be ITSM. It could be CSDM. It could be something else, and maybe it needed more variety, perhaps.
Yeah. See, I when you think about the AI use cases that are very much discussed, and we could talk about the keynote session in a second. But it was about case summarization and summarizing emails that goes out, and about assisting agents and building catalog items using AI and all that kind of stuff. And I think to myself, how is that relevant in the world I'm in right now? No. And I try and think of use cases that where could I use it? If I had the opportunity, where could I use it right now? And it's more in the techie space rather than the end user space
Yeah.
that I can think of. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Get it reading log files that then can tell me in human readable form what, you know what I mean? Give me a summarization of all the logs and what they mean and what remediation action possibly could be.
An
That kind of
operationalist.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we talk about the keynote actually? So
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, in the morning there's a big keynote session. And funnily enough, you and I just met as we were going to it. So we chose to sit there. I honestly nearly fell asleep. Nothing to do with the presentation. I was just that tired. But there was Nick. I forget his name.
Oh,
Nick.
yeah. I know who you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick. He'll come to me in a minute. But American guy, very good presenting. He always presents. He's always the front man at presenting. Extremely likable guy, charismatic, and did an extremely good job.
Rubbish at tennis.
And then, apart from tennis.
You know.
And he was joined by I'm going to say three names: Jenny, Jamie, Jamie. They kept mixing. I swear to God, the guy Martin, the one that was doing the demo, kept mixing her name up constantly.
Yeah,
I'm sure he did.
yeah, I
But she
know.
was on there from the team in the UK, highlighting what the Xanadu highlights were, and it was mainly GenAI and analytics, really,
Yeah.
with some very slick demos that were not pre-recorded at all. We don't think
No,
they were
no, of course not. They were live.
just absolutely not.
You
Um,
can pretend typing.
yeah, but the key message there was all, and they were joined on stage by key figures from
Yeah,
Aston Martin, Aston, and Vodafone.
yeah,
I remember. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And the key theme was, for me, the key theme is how do you see the future for your organization? And all of them were Gen AI.
Mm.
And one of the taglines I like from the guy at Asda, and again, I'm sorry, I forget his name, is to help them make complex decisions. I like that tagline, but
Yeah,
I need more depth
yeah,
personally in terms of
yeah.
what does that mean? How does that
I
apply?
think something that
Again,
would,
I will say I'm not
yeah,
stupid. I know what these are events for, right? They're not for the
yeah,
techies to start going, well, tell me how.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I
I
think
get it. I
what's
get it.
quite telling though is that even these big companies, they're all on this kind of journey of exploration of AI, and none of them could really talk to, I guess, AI that they have already implemented and seen lots of benefits from. They could talk to
Mhm.
obviously ServiceNow and say that, you've implemented this and that and this and that. None of them really said about, oh yeah, and we've implemented Now Assist and we've got all these benefits and value from it, or we've got all these AI connections, and they're all about, oh, we're looking forward to our next step of the journey
Yes.
by implementing these AI solutions. So I think any customers that's out there thinking they're behind, um, everyone's still just trying to figure out what the use cases are that they are
Yeah.
going to adopt.
And that's probably maybe where my thoughts are, and I probably share them with everyone else. It's just I'm probably more vocal, but I want to know how. I want to know the use cases because
Yeah,
I can't relate to the whole agent assist stuff right now because that's not in the project that I'm in, and it's probably not likely to be for the next 12 months or so. So I need something real and now
yeah,
in order to kind of understand it, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it was a key theme, wasn't it, in the keynotes? Everything was amazing. Uh,
Yeah.
the amount of times you said amazing, I'm
Yeah,
sure it's brilliant.
funny.
Tell us the price. Tell us how much. That's what we
I
want to
guess
know.
the other one that we haven't really touched on, which was, I think there was three big um the top three big things that we want to tell you. I mean, the first one
Mhm.
that they mentioned wasn't even AI; it was RaptorDB Pro.
Yes,
Wasn't it?
well done. Yes,
Yes, remembered. I even took notes. Remember, I
right.
took notes.
You did. You were a little nerd. He was sat next to me taking notes like a little geek,
I
like
can't
you
wait.
should be.
Yeah.
You have a good point. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm annoyed that I haven't mentioned. And that I've allowed you to mention it. That actually, it sounds really geeky, but that actually
Yes.
excited me more than the Gen AI bit.
Yes. Yeah. That could actually genuinely make experiences completely different.
Yes, I can reach out and I can touch that improvement. That was it,
Yeah.
53% improvement or 25,000 times quicker or something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all about making things quicker and slicker and query times faster and better, right?
Yeah.
But I can see and I can sense that, and that's relevant to me. The AI bit I can't at the minute.
I think one thing that I haven't gone and researched is, okay, so they're calling it RaptorDB Pro. So
Correct.
that means this is not a standard thing. You're going to have to pay more to get the speed.
Oh,
It's,
no,
yeah, that one is not offering.
I didn't sense that, but I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
I
RaptorDB,
do
great.
know they have been saying, with Xanadu, it's going to be X quicker and that sort of
Mm.
thing. And I know they're currently running on MariaDB, I believe the database is, which essentially is a MySQL database. But yeah, moving up to DB. It sounds like more of an uplift. If you want this better, quicker, responsive thing, then you're gonna have to pay for it. Is it more expensive?
I didn't think about that quick enough, did I? But no, that makes sense. Oh, I'll tell you one other thing I've just remembered that Earl was mentioning in the dev meetup is around studios and how they understand that there's multiple different interfaces to build stuff in studios, and they're working towards bringing that all into one. And that got a bit of a round of applause.
Good.
Because it is a frustration.
I mean, they did start that with Creator Studio, is it? Where you got you got the form designer, you got the playbooks, you got a few of the other ones all kind of together.
But
yeah, that would be quite nice.
Yeah. So that was another thing. So that was the general keynotes. Did you go to the one at the end?
I didn't. No, I missed one at the end. Did you go?
No, I left at 3:15.
Did you? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you left after that.
No. The floor was starting to thin out a little bit. I think people had listened to the sessions and were hanging about ready for the keynote at the end. But no, I had to get home, and lucky I did leave when I left. I missed the train at Waterloo by 1 minute and had to sit around for 40 minutes in the train station. You know when all you want to do is get home and you just
I had exactly the same thing. I got to Liverpool Street and I think it was 5:30 the train I wanted to catch. I got to the station at 5:30. But luckily I only had to wait half an hour for the next one. But that's
all right.
It's annoying.
I had the moment where you think, shall I run? It's like, I'm not running.
No.
If I'm going for a train, I'll always wait for the next one. I'm just sit there. So let's think about wrapping this up, because we've done a good job at waffling.
Yeah.
So give us your key takeaways from your experience at the World Forum?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't mention the food, did we? Did you like the food?
No, it's pretty naff.
Yeah. I think I had 2 sandwiches and a couple of crisps.
No, I had loads of fruit in the morning, and then I had some weird bean chili thing with nachos on it. That was nice.
Mm.
But I'm happy with a pizza. You know?
Yeah.
I'm happy with a slice of pizza or a slider or something dirty.
Yeah.
You know?
The brownies were nice. The chocolate
brownies.
brownies.
The brownies were nice. I'll tell you the other criticism, actually, I've got. Oh, and then I'll tell you something else. And then we'll wrap it up. They put the brownies on, so you can collect your badge before 8:30, but you weren't allowed in. So you could see all the coffee there, but you weren't allowed to get one.
Really?
It's like, I've already got one, I need another one, and now I'm going to hang around for 8 minutes while waiting, going, literally, let me in, I just need that coffee that's there. But I had the opportunity to speak to Colin, I forget his surname, I'm awful at this, but I think he's the chief marketing director. American guy, was over for World Forum. I don't think he'd been in the role for that long.
Yeah.
I should LinkedIn stalk, but I had the opportunity to speak to him just on the off chance. I didn't go seeking for him. He just walked past, and I was chatting, and he said, "Is there any kind of feedback you've got for the World Forum event?" And you know, when you're put on the spot, and I was like, I can't actually think of anything. But now I think about it, let us have coffee. Serve the coffee outside the venue. That's what I would say. That's my feedback.
Yeah.
Allow us coffee before we can get in.
Yeah, and I've been working with the marketing team a little bit at ServiceNow recently, so I'm aware of Colin.
Oh, there you go then. I'm going to chat with your Colin.
That's good. He's asking. That's really good.
This is the thing. You know, when you ask a question, no, nothing.
Yeah.
And you walk away and you think, just missed that opportunity, and you think of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a great one to have after an emergency. Yeah, I was on the train thinking, I should have said this, I should have said that. But I think the point is, he was there to take feedback, to listen, to I guess mill around and get some opinions from different people, and you don't often see that. So credit to that. Credit to Colin for doing that. So anyway, tell us your key takeaways.
Key takeaways. And obviously, I'm speaking on the perspective of a someone there as a partner, as someone there trying to sell and things. And also bear in mind that I was ill during the day. So I mentioned before that I don't tend to go to these sorts of things. I'm not directly involved with selling and things like that. Historically, I've been through delivery, so we don't tend to go to them things as someone who stands by the booth and that sort of thing. I think the other side, you mentioned already, one of the big reasons why you do go to those things is networking. I think historically, you already mentioned that yourself, that you're an introvert. I think I'm probably even more of an introvert, and I struggle with social anxiety. So I think going to these things is already quite a big push for me to go and do it, which is it's a good thing for myself. But immediately, like you mentioned, and this kind of small world, and seeing your ex-colleagues that you may have had really good relationships with, and I think in this world where you tend to work on projects with people, and that's when you really build up good connections and like relationships with people in the same industry as you. And typically, either they'll be on a different project and you won't talk to them for a while, or people move between partners and things like that, and things just fizzle, don't they? They fizzle. They're busy. You're busy. You don't end up speaking to them. So one of my big takeaways is, yes, it is fantastic for networking when you don't have a cold. It's good for spreading germs. It's been fantastic just to see people, and not even just ex-colleagues and friends and people in industry. It's also your colleagues. You can't forget that as well. I think a lot of us work remotely. We don't go to the office, and I think the benefit of just being there, and I had this. I rarely go to the office. The benefit of just being there with your colleagues, and just ask them about their day and seeing what they're doing, and you're relating to them, and you can talk about the same projects, and you get so much benefit. And it's made me feel at the end of it that, do you know what, we should arrange more to go into the office and just do it. Just go there and let's all meet up and let's go for a beer afterwards or something. And it was really positive social experience at the end of it, which was good.
No, I agree. It does make you, when you go and you see colleagues, you do think, I should do this more. We need to do this a bit more.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating for going to work in an office, by the way. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Not all the time. Every now and then. Every now and then
is fine. So I think,
that's my biggest one.
For me, my key takeaway is, yes, I'm excited by RaptorDB Pro. GenAI didn't surprise me with anything they were saying. I wasn't like all the way, because we kind of knew and know what's going on in that space, but I can't relate to it right now. So it's a key takeaway that it was very GenAI heavy, and it'd be nice if there were some other aspects that were concentrated on. That's not saying they didn't explore other areas that weren't GenAI. Take UP3's presentation. That wasn't really about GenAI. It was more about operational technology. But I guess it's the marketing around it was all GenAI bit, or maybe it's just a perception thing. But the main takeaway for me is I went with the focus to network and go and connect with people that I know, like yourself. I saw Mark Ballack, I saw Wakas actually as well. Didn't get to chat to him for long. A lot of old colleagues, a lot of new colleagues, a lot of people I've never met face to face. Had a long chat with Nikki Tones at GlideFast. I spoke to her on one call for 30 minutes last December. Chatted on LinkedIn on posts and whatever. And it was a fantastic chat. I mean, she was talking to me about bizarrely, as she was on the train, she was listening to a podcast, and suddenly one of ours came up, so she listened to that. They were talking about lenses. I went on a rant the other way. But it was lovely to chat to people that have just got enthusiasm for the same things, right? And it wasn't necessarily all work-related stuff. But yeah, for me, the takeaway was the people that were there by a country mile. And next time, I think I'll probably go in a bit fresher rather than being absolutely shattered from the.
Loading. Yep. I mean, is that do you think the meetup, whether it should be a different day, different time, whether they should?
No, I really enjoyed it because you obviously get the crowd that are coming for the World Forum the next day, which is the ServiceNow gang and the customers. And no, I was like, although I acknowledge the fact that I probably could have gone in fresher, and I'll do that next time. Will I do that next time? No, because if the opportunity comes that I get to connect with colleagues the night before and have a few drinks, I'm going to take it every time. So no.
I'll tell you one thing that was really nice, and was something that I wasn't expecting, is that obviously you get different people coming up to the booth. You get customers, you get ex-colleagues, you get people like the Quality Clouds guys as well. So we spoke to them, different partners. It's the universities. So there was a few people from universities there trying to get grads signed up to jobs and things, and they were really interested in advice about getting into it. And so they with some fantastic chats around that. It wasn't just about let's get leads and things like that. It was about
that's a different dynamic. That's how the space has changed over the years. No, I wasn't, but we had a few at the meetup the night before, which I hope just whets their appetite, thinking, this is the direction I want to go in. But it just shows how the dynamics changed in the industry over the last few years. But so on that note, should we close for the day?
Yeah, this is a good one.
We're coming up to the hour mark.
55 minutes. Jeez, this is a long one today. It's a good one.
It is a long one, and we need to, and I should have called this right at the start, we need to organise our chat with Chuck.
I know. We had a little balls up.
I know. He fully thinks it's you that f***ed up, by the way. Oh, no, you've got to bleep that out now. 55 minutes in. I don't think you can say.
I thought we were going to get through this without editing.
No. We were doing so well.
You may as well add a few more swear words in there.
I know, I've already put 2 in. We've got 3 now. You're going to have to do some editing.
Good work.
That's how it ends. But no, I'll get on to Chuck and ask him. But Lauren did tell me that Chuck has been revising for the A to Z game.
No.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have to change.
There's been some friendly banter, and I said, Lauren, what he doesn't know is we're going to completely change it.
We're going to go Greek alphabet.
Let's do that. Let's do it. Pull that up on screen.
We're just going to go different letters, like in a different order. Q, Y, B.
Let's do it. And on that note, I think it's a wrap. So thank you for listening. I've been Russ.
I've been James.
And this is ServiceNow.